Sue Wilson. I've got a really pretty card using one of our stamps to die for today. So I'll share with you what we'll be using. From our mini shadowed sentiments, I have the mini thanks, and we are just going to be using the thanks version of that on this card. Here is the Leslie die. Now, although I've not used the actual die itself for just to cut out the matching stamp on this, so you won't see any of the rest of that. I'm going to seat our sentiment on one of the stitched flags, and I've made a pretty multi-layered frame with the double stitched squares. This is from our Noble collection. Okay, so what I've gone ahead and done ahead of time is I have stamped this stamp here, which is called Leslie's Tiger Lilies, and that refers to the name of the die, Leslie. Okay, so I've stamped it and embossed it. Just stamped it in black and embossed it with clear embossing powder, and I've just gone around the edge a little bit with the peacock feathers. I'm going to do a bit more coloring for us. So what we're going to do is bring in the peacock feathers, and I'm just going to bring in a little bit of color in around here, just adding a tiny bit more along here. Okay, and where you've embossed it, you're going to have a resist. So I'm going to bring in a bit of water. I'm going to pick that up, and I'm just going to sort of pull that in to that color a little bit more. There we go. And you can even scribble it on your craft mat. That's always helpful too. Just bring in a little bit more of that color. I want it to be lighter around that area in the middle. Just sort of paint that in. Because distress inks will react with water, so you can easily just touch that up and it just lightens it up a little bit. It's got a nice little accent around the edge and a lighter center area for our background. There we go. Fill that in around the flowers. Okay, like that. So it looks like there's like a heavy shadow around the edge there a bit more. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now, I'm not going to bother coloring too much the larger one, but I'm going to do the side ones. I'll tell you what, I'll put in the leaves. This is crushed olive. So we've got a leaf that pops up here, and a leaf out here. There we go. Like that. And the stems, we can do that. And there's a little leaf there. And there. Coming out. Okay. I can even go back in a little bit with forest moss and just give it a tiny little shadow area and some of the stibbling around the edge there. That's always nice. And like I said, if you get it too heavy, it is reactive with water, so you can just pick it up with a paintbrush and lighten it up if you like. Mustard seed, I'm going to lay down the base of the lilies here with this. Okay. Now you can go around the edge here if you want. I'm going to cover that, but sometimes the edge will show. Okay. And I've got wild honey, which is about a little bit darker of a version, so I can bring that in. And just around the edges here. There we go. Little stamens. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Now what I've gone ahead and done is I went ahead and stamped this again, but just this section with that larger tiger lily, and I've just cut it out by hand. So I've done a little bit of forming just around my fingers like that, just to give it some shape. I've added a bit of mounting foam to the back to raise it up. It just gives it a little bit more dimension. And then what we're going to do is just lay that right on top of the original one. Okay, so you can see you get that really pretty pop coming out towards you. But it's a really nice, easy stamp to color in. There's not a lot that you have to really worry about, and if you wanted to go back in with your peacock feather and fill in some of these areas a little bit heavier around the flower to give it a nice little shadow, you can do that. Just like that. There we go. A little bit around the edge there. Okay, so pop that off to the side, move these out of the way. Now what I did prior to the video is I added a little slit here, just right along the edge of that flower. So what I can do is pop the flag from the pierce or stitch flags in there and just sort of have it coming out of the center rather than having it be into a frame. And I'm going to leave it about like so. Little piece of tape on the back just to tape it into place to hold it. Okay, and I do have some mounting foam on the back just to raise it up, so I'm going to lift that edge up like that. Take my peacock feathers away from there and bring in some of our backings here. Now I've got a piece of coconut white card. I've put a sticky adhesive sheet on the back of that. I'm going to just peel the backing off. Okay. What I want to do is put my multi-layered frame over the top of it first. So I've got some mounting foam here, and I am going to just peel the backing off. And I'm going to center that right over that. It'll stick into place. Okay. All right, so now all that's sticky. So what I want to do is add a little bit of foam on the back of this. I'm going to just sort of raise it up a bit. In fact, I want to have a little bit more of a raise to it, so I'm going to put a double piece over the top. And I'm going to center that right in the middle of the sticky adhesive. Okay, just about like that. All right. See if I can get that right in the center there. That looks pretty good. Pop that down. Now I'm going to bring in my Frosted Sparkle Glitterbitz piece of copy paper. Pop that under. So now I'm not going to waste the entire background with glitter, so I can just glitter where I need it to go around the edge there. And I want to pick that up a little bit. Just get it right under the edge. Okay. Sprinkle it around and then catch all the extra bit in my copy paper. Make sure I get all the edges. There we go. So now I've only used a little bit of that glitter around the edge so it goes further. Put that back into our container. Okay. I'm going to bring in my backing. So I've used the same teal card I used in the mat and a little bit of black on there because I'm going to do my sentiment in black. I'm going to just peel my mounting foam, center that right in between my piercing. There we go. And the mini thanks, because I said it was 2 words, I've just gone ahead and used the thanks version of that. So I'm going to just pop that into place. A little bit of glue on the back. And just sort of tuck it right under that flower on my flag there. Voila! And you are finished. See how easy that stamp to die for is, and it adds so much to your finished piece. Hope you've enjoyed the video and you look for us on our YouTube channel soon.